The Sealed Book of Mormon, chapter 93. And now, the consumption of food is not the only thing in which ye sin grossly in the latter days, as pertaining to the laws of health and happiness, but there are other ways that shall be introduced among you by the plan of Lucifer, that shall cause you to destroy the order of nature by which ye were created. Behold, in the latter days there shall be great pride and vanity throughout the earth, because of the image that the beast shall present unto you, and cause you to worship. Yea, the image of the beast shall cause that there shall be a standard set for the appearance of a man and a woman. And the people of the earth shall begin to worship this image, and do all in their power to follow this image, and reach this standard of beauty that hath been set for them. And there shall be many who again deny the power of God, and also their faith in God, in that which they have been given according to the natural order of all things. For the standard of beauty that shall be set by the image of the beast shall be that which all desire. And if by the course of nature this beauty is not had by many of those of the latter days, then shall they go to the doctors and the physicians, who shall receive a knowledge and an expertise from Satan, to change the form of their faces and their bodies and their natures, to conform to the standard that the beast hath set for them. And I say unto you, that ye that doeth these things denieth the power of the Father, and shall be condemned for that which ye have done to yourselves, which is contrary to the order of nature that maintaineth a balance in all things. And these changes which ye shall make for yourselves shall cause you more misery than the temporary joy that they shall give unto you when ye look into a mirror, and behold the image of that which ye have been convinced is the standard of beauty that should be maintained. Behold, God loveth all of his children, and will give unto each of them according to their needs, to learn during the days of their probation. And many of these shall not reach the standard of beauty that hath been set for them by the beast, and they shall not have the means whereby they might make the change to their appearance to conform to this standard. Yet do ye think that the Father loveth them less than those who have been given this standard of beauty by nature? I say unto you that he doth not love them less, but shall bless them exceedingly, if they will but have faith in him and his will. Behold, it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord, that all of those who have changed their bodies to conform to the standards set for them by the image of the beast, yea, these shall be the ugliest among all the children of men upon the earth. For in that day all of the unnatural parts of their bodies shall fail them, and they shall no longer function as they should function. And those who have deformities, or who have been burdened with that which they perceive as levels of beauty that are below the standard of beauty that giveth them their happiness, these shall the Lord bless, and cause by his power that they receive the body and the beauty that they desire for their happiness. And these desires of happiness cometh from the natural sexual desires that all shall experience according to the laws of nature. Nevertheless, in that day there shall only be a few who shall have the bodies necessary to create children and be parents. Yea, these are those who have proven themselves that the sacrifice of their own selfishness bringeth more happiness to them than the fulfillment of their own selfish desires. Yea, in that day only those women shall have breasts and the beauty of a natural woman that can produce a child, and only those men who are worthy shall have the parts of the male body that are necessary so that they might create children. But the majority of the people of the earth at this time shall be like unto a eunuch, or shall have those bodies that shall exist in the terrestrial and celestial kingdoms of glory. At that day there shall be no distinction between a man and a woman, except it be among those who are worthy of this distinction. Behold, the spirits of the children of God shall inhabit the body that they have chosen for themselves as their desires of happiness. And if their desires of happiness are not celestial in nature, then they shall not have a body of a male or a female, which body dependeth on the choice of the Spirit, who would be a male or female, according to that which bringeth to them the most happiness. And in those days that shall continue in the course of mortality, there shall only be a few who shall be given the power and the authority to provide the mortal bodies for the spirits who shall still be in the spirit world, awaiting another chance in mortality to experience the days of their probation. For behold, during the millennium of the Lord, all the spirits of the children of God shall be upon the earth in mortality, and there shall be none left in the spirit world except Lucifer and those who choose to follow him in his plan. And these shall remain in the spirit world, and shall observe all things that shall transpire upon the earth as the children of God live, according to his plan. And at this time Lucifer shall be bound, and shall not be permitted to inspire the hearts of the children of men to follow his plan. For 6,000 years the plan of Lucifer was tried and tested upon the earth, and for all these years there was turmoil and strife, and all manner of wickedness upon the earth. And during the millennium of the Lord, Lucifer and those that follow him shall see the effects of the plan of the Father that shall be implemented by the Son, according to the will of the Father in all things. And at that day shall the desire for sexual relations be taken from off the earth, except it be among those who have the power in their own bodies to produce the mortal bodies for the spirits who must enter again into mortality from the spirit world. And now these sexual desires have been the means of much wickedness during the first 6,000 years of the existence of the children of men upon the earth. Yea, these natural enticings, being that which overcame Eve because of her desire to bear children and keep the commandments of the Father in this thing. Even these things are the enticings of the flesh of those who have the body parts that are designed to produce children. And as the children of men go through the days of their probation upon the earth, they are tested and proven to see if they are worthy to have this great power. And the means of their tests are the enticements of the flesh in the want of sex, and the enjoyment that these enticements provide to all of the children of men. And there have been none save a few only, who have proven themselves worthy of this great power. And with this power, the enticement and gratification of sex is continued for the benefit and the blessing of those who have proven themselves worthy of this power. But the majority of the children of God who shall be upon the earth during the millennial reign of the Lord shall not have this power, neither shall they have these enticements, which caused them so much wickedness during the early days of their probation, or during these first 6,000 years. And without the parts of the body that are required to produce children, the desire to do so shall no longer be with them. And in that day there shall be no more family units, nor shall there be any nations or kingdoms or borders of any kind, except it be those that shall be established by the Lord according to the laws of the Father. And all the people of the earth shall speak the same tongue, and all will understand their neighbour as they are understood. And there shall be no partnerships or companionships, or husbands and wives, or sisters and brothers, who belong to a separated family that hath set itself apart from the earth. For all the inhabitants of the earth shall be brothers and sisters, yea, children of the Father their God and Creator. And the children that shall come forth in that day shall be cared for by all the inhabitants of the righteous nation in which they shall be created, but more especially by the mothers who created them. And now there shall be friendships that rise up among all the people of the earth, but there shall be no isolation in these friendships. In other words, all shall be friends with their neighbours, and those neighbours who are not known intimately by one shall become known. For the love that shall abide in the hearts of all the people shall be equal one towards another. Yea, at this time there shall be upon the earth all of the children of God who have chosen for themselves that kingdom in which they have chosen to reside in the eternal kingdoms of the Father. And these groups shall be the only division made among the inhabitants of the earth. And there shall be 7 parts of the world that shall have a border of sorts between them, and these shall be the only borders that shall exist upon the earth. But they shall not be borders established by one people to keep another people from coming into their nation, but they shall be for the distinction of the place upon the earth that the Lord shall establish for the people of the different kingdoms of glory that they have chosen for themselves. And there shall exist 3 separate kingdoms of those who are celestial people, and there shall be 3 separate kingdoms for those who are terrestrial people. And these people shall divide themselves into these kingdoms according to their desires of happiness. And the laws that shall be established in these separate kingdoms shall be the laws that are like unto those eternal laws that shall govern the planet on which they shall be placed to live forever after the resurrection, having eternal life and enjoying the state that they have chosen for themselves. And these kingdoms shall be called nations, and these 6 nations shall be called Celestial Land, and Celestial Nom, and Celestial San, according to those borders in which reside those of a celestial state. And the nations of those who desire the laws of happiness of a terrestrial state shall be called Terrestrial Land, and Terrestrial Nom, and Terrestrial San. And the Lord shall command that the governments of these kingdoms be set up according to the laws of happiness that shall exist in these kingdoms of glory in the eternal kingdom of the Father. And the 7th nation shall be the governing nation, in which shall dwell all those who pertain to the celestial kingdom of glory. Behold, these are the righteous who have lived upon the earth. These are those who are some male and others are female, according to their desires of happiness. And by these shall the rest of the people of the earth be served, for they shall be the servants of those who belong to the other 6 nations of the earth. And the Lord shall appoint 12 from among them to be the governors of these nations, and these 12 shall rule and reign in these kingdoms under the direction of the Lord, who shall establish his government in both hemispheres of the world, one of these capitals being called the city of Zion, which shall be upon this land, and the other being called Jerusalem, after the city in which the Lord came down during the days of his own probation. And then shall the words of the prophets be fulfilled, which were written, saying, And it shall come to pass in the last days, that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. And it shall come to pass in that day that the people of the earth shall look to Zion and to Jerusalem for the law of the Lord. And the people shall know the 12 who have been chosen by the Lord to rule over the other nations of the earth. And all people shall be given the freedom to travel in all parts of the earth, visiting all the different kingdoms and living among the people according to their desires. And now this is the will of the Father concerning this thing, for this is the final opportunity for his children to know for themselves which kingdom of glory best suiteth their desires of happiness. For those who are telestial shall travel into the lands of those who live by the laws of the terrestrial kingdom. And when they come into the land, they shall not feel as comfortable or at ease with these laws and this manner of living as they do with the laws and the manner of living of their own kingdom. And those who are both telestial spirits and terrestrial spirits shall travel to Jerusalem and to Zion, and shall see the celestial people in their manner of living, and they shall know for themselves that the kingdom which they have chosen for themselves is truly that which will bring them the most happiness. For the people of the celestial cities shall be servants, who shall have the power and the authority of the Lord to spend all the days of their lives in the service of others. For this is what bringeth them their own happiness. And those of the telestial kingdoms and the terrestrial kingdoms, yea, these shall not have the desire to serve others all the days of their lives, but they shall have the desire to be served and receive from another those things that make them happy. And it shall come to pass that there shall exist an attitude of extraordinary love and respect for one another, and all shall respect the rights of another to live their lives the way that they have chosen for themselves. And now it is expedient that ye understand why it is that the Father hath commanded the Lord to establish the kingdoms of his glories upon the earth in these final days. Behold, when we lived as spirits in the kingdom of our Father, we were raised by our eternal mothers, and taught all those things which were necessary to allow us to grow as a spirit, and to understand the plan of the Father in all things. And the choices of the different kingdoms of glory were explained unto us, and we understood them, having been taught these things by our mothers. Nevertheless, because we were spirits, we did not understand all things pertaining to these different kingdoms of glory. Or in other words, we did not know from our own experience what it would be like to exist in these kingdoms with a body of flesh and bone that would provide our spirits with the eternal joy and happiness that our eternal Father and mothers enjoy in their kingdom. Yet we made our choice according to our understanding. But also our eternal parents helped us in our determination of which kingdom of glory would be the one that would bring our particular spirit and its own individual characteristics and personality the greatest amount of happiness. For they knew us better than we knew ourselves as their spirit children, because they had the experience that we did not yet have because of the state of existence in which we resided in the pre-existent state in the kingdom of our Father. And they had already passed through this state and were exalted beings who knew in and of themselves all things that pertain to all of the glories of the kingdom of God. And it was our eternal mothers who knew which of us would be celestial, and which of us would be terrestrial, and which of us would be telestial, because they were with us from the beginning of our existence, and watched us grow and use our free agency to act and think for ourselves, and make our own choices based upon this free agency. Therefore, because we knew by the word of our eternal parents, and also by our own choice, which kingdom of glory would best suit us forever, we were ready to enter into our second estate, which is the state in which we would receive our bodies of flesh and bone, and prove to ourselves further that the kingdom of glory that we had chosen to reside in forever was that kingdom that would bring us the most happiness of all the kingdoms of God. And I have already explained unto you how Lucifer rebelled against the plan of the Father and introduced his own plan for our eternal salvation. And if it was that easy for Lucifer to convince 1/3 of all the children of the Father that his plan might provide more happiness for us, then we can see that in the beginning many of us were not convinced of our final choice of our eternal kingdom of glory. And there were many who did not follow Lucifer, but followed Jehovah in his desire to follow the plan that the Father presented unto us, and these were still unsure of themselves. But they loved the Father and knew their mothers, who pleaded with them to follow the Father. And there shall be many still, even after the days of their probation, who shall doubt within themselves whether or not the kingdom of glory that they have chosen for themselves is the right one for them. And for this reason the Father hath commanded the Son to establish these kingdoms upon the earth, in similitude of what they shall be like when the planets are transformed into these kingdoms in the own due time of the Father. Now, during the millennium of the Lord, all of the children of God shall have the opportunity to live for many, many years, yea, even for the better part of 1,000 years upon the earth in peace and happiness, and during this millennium be allowed to experience in the flesh the kingdom that they have chosen for themselves. However, even during these days they shall not know for a surety which kingdom shall bring them the most happiness, but after they have lived according to the laws of the Father, and after they have been able to see for themselves the institution of these laws in their lives upon the earth with the body of flesh and bone, which shall be similar to the body that they have chosen for themselves, yea, after so many years of this experience, then shall they know for a surety that the plan of the Father is just. And that kingdom which they have chosen for themselves is the eternal kingdom that shall provide for them the greatest source of happiness according to their individual desires of happiness. And it shall come to pass at this time that Lucifer and those spirits who followed him in the beginning, yea, these shall also have the opportunity to witness from the spirit world the plan of the Father in full effect upon the earth. And these will be able to choose for themselves whether they will follow the plan of the Father or continue to follow the plan of Lucifer. And if these repent, then they too shall be given the chance to come into mortality, and take upon them the flesh and bone prepared by the Father, and experience the kingdoms of God upon the earth, so that they can know for a surety that the plan of the Father is just and true. And now, this is the mystery that the Lord hath commanded me to give unto you. Yea, I have read concerning all of these things in the words of the vision of the brother of Jared concerning the end of time. And I know that in the end most of the children of the Father shall choose his plan over the plan of Lucifer, and shall receive their inheritance in his kingdom. And there shall be some who shall continue to support Lucifer in his desires, and shall be held in the captivity of the spirit world until the Lord hath finished his work upon the earth. And at the end of the last millennium, these shall once again be released, and given the chance to convince any that will give heed unto them to reject the plan of the Father and follow the plan of Lucifer. And there shall be few who shall be deceived this time by the flattering words of Lucifer, having seen the effects of his plan during the first 6,000 years of their existence upon the earth in mortality and in the spirit world. But those who choose to follow him shall be gathered together and cast out of the kingdom of the Father. And now at this time I have been commanded to explain unto you what it meaneth to be cast out of the kingdom of God, and what shall be the end of Lucifer and those that follow him. Yea, after so many years of experience that they shall have upon this earth in mortality, yea, even after all the patience and the mercy that the Father shall show unto them, giving unto them chance after chance to accept his eternal plan and live by the eternal laws that govern the whole universe and all of the planets and all of the stars and all of the kingdoms that exist therein. Yea, even after all of this pure knowledge which they shall have, they shall reject the Father and not accept the exceeding love that he hath offered them. And they shall become as the wood of a beloved tree, which a man planted as a seedling and watched grow for many years. And the man watered it and dunged it and pruned it and kept it warm in times of cold and cool in times of heat. And when the tree grew tall, even that its branches spread forth exceedingly, the man knew that it was time to make use of the tree, that it might serve him and provide for his comfort all the days of his life. And with gentle care the man cut down the tree, and sawed its many branches, and formed it into a chair, that it might support him in his old age, and provide for him the comfort that he desired. And with great care he built a chair in which he could sit, and it was a beautiful chair, but when he sat thereon it would not support his weight, and fell apart underneath him. And when the man realized that the wood from the tree could not be made into a chair to support him, he did not have the desire to burn or throw out the wood, because it was the wood from his beloved tree. Therefore the man with care again took the wood that was once a chair, and shaped it into something that would serve him and comfort him in his old age. And now, my beloved brothers and sisters, here is the end of those who choose for themselves not to serve the God who created them and gave them life and an independent existence wherein they might find happiness. Behold, these who were created from the eternal elements of which all things are created, yea, from which all of our spirits were created, shall be broken apart or destroyed in the form of the existence in which the Father hath created them to bring them happiness, and they shall be no more. And the matter from which they were created cannot be destroyed, and even it could be destroyed, the Father would not destroy it, because of his love for that which hath brought him so much joy. But Lucifer and those that follow him shall cease to exist, and the elements from which their spirits were formed shall be used to form other spirits, that shall start their existence in the womb of an eternal mother, who shall wean them and coddle them, and enjoy their birth again into existence by the power and the will of the Father. And these shall grow into mature spirits, and be given the opportunity to follow the plan of the Father, and receive the happiness for which he hath created them. Now, this is according to the great mercy and justice of the Father, for he knoweth that there cannot exist those beings in the eternities that would disrupt the order of all things. And this order hath existed forever, having no beginning and no end. And it is the duty of any God to maintain this order, and in justice establish the laws of this order, and assure that these laws are followed in righteousness. But the Father knoweth that in order for us to follow any law in righteousness, we must first understand this law. And to understand this law in its fullness, we must be given the chance to disobey this law and reap the consequence of our disobedience, that we might know of our own experience that the eternal laws of heaven are indeed righteous. And this, my brothers and sisters, is the purpose of life, and the reason that we exist in a mortal state and go through the days of our probation. And this is also the reason why the Lord shall establish his kingdom upon the earth, so that we can garner from it the experiences that we need in order to understand all of these eternal laws. And in that day, all of the different nations of the earth shall be under one law. And this law which the whole earth shall be under is the law of the Father, that pertaineth to all of the kingdoms of glory in the kingdom of God. And this is the law of the gospel that I have explained unto you throughout this record. And it is the law that was given by Christ in the flesh among the Jews, and also which he gave to my fathers in the land of Bountiful. And it is by obedience to this law that peace and righteousness shall be established throughout the land. And now I have given you this law in this record. Therefore I will not repeat again this law unto you, but would admonish you to read the words which I have written concerning the law that Adam gave unto his children in the land of Adamondimon. For the words of Adam are great, and were recorded by the brother of Jared, who witnessed the great meeting in which he gave this law unto his children. Study these words, my beloved brothers and sisters, for it is by this law that ye shall live upon the earth in the days of the Lord, and it is by this law that ye shall be judged, and it is also by this law that ye shall live in the latter days, if it be your desire that the Lord cut short his work in righteousness, and come unto you before the appointed time of the Father. And it is this law that was lived in its fullness by Enoch and those of the city of Enoch, who were taken to the kingdom of the Father. Behold, after the Lord hath established his law throughout the whole earth, yea, after Zion is established upon this land, then shall Enoch and all the people of his city, which were raised up by the Father, be brought back to this earth, and they shall establish themselves in the nations in which each of them findeth the joy which each desireth. And those of the city of Enoch who have chosen the celestial kingdom for themselves shall enter into the city of Zion, which shall be known as the New Jerusalem. Then shall they meet the other elect of God who have been gathered out of all the earth, and they shall receive them into their bosoms, and shall fall upon their necks, and shall kiss them. And thus shall it be according to the words of the prophets. And the law of the Lord shall be taught throughout the world, and the wicked who shall remain upon the earth shall be forced to live this law, or they shall be cast out of the land and be put into prisons, where they shall be taught this law. And if they do not abide by this law still, they shall die in the prisons, that they might not corrupt the earth. And upon their death they shall enter again into the spirit world, and join Lucifer and his angels, who awaited the last judgment of God that shall be wrought upon them. But it shall come to pass that the majority of the wicked shall see the error of their ways, and shall repent of their sins, and turn away from their wickedness, and begin to trust in the law of the gospel, that the Lord shall give unto them in that day.